Good evening. My name is Madison Fields. I will be speaking about Marcus Smith and police accountability alongside the Greensboro Justice Coalition. The mission of the City of Greensboro is to shape an inclusive future for equitable economic opportunity and sustainable, safe neighborhoods through resident-focused services and programs. You have failed. I'm just speaking to police brutality, but I now see that statement as applicable to affordable housing and equitable wages. On September 8th, 2018, Marcus Smith sought the help promised by this city when he asked a police officer to take him to the hospital. He was suffering from a mental health crisis with an illness that sometimes manifested in anxiety, paranoia, and delusions. Despite Marcus not exhibiting violent or confrontational behavior, Officer Robert Duncan elected to hogtie Marcus while awaiting an ambulance. Officers Robert Duncan, Justin Payne, Michael Montalvo, Alfred Lewis, Lee Andrews, along with Sergeant Christopher Bradshaw and Colonel Douglas Strader, pummeled an already distraught Marcus face down on the pavement. His cries for them to stop fell on deaf ears. Instead, Marcus's hands were handcuffed behind his back before pulling his knees back beyond a 90-degree angle until his feet were touching his cuffed wrists at the small of his back. Marcus stopped breathing and died. The North Carolina medical examiner ruled his death a homicide. However, instead of being met with prosecution, 7 of the 8 officers that helped murder Marcus Smith received merit raises since his death. But did we really expect accountability from a city that waited 40 years to apologize for the Greensboro massacre? The 8 officers that murdered Marcus are not the only villains in this story. You are. This is the ugly truth about Greensboro's police department. It's not always a lack of competence, but a malicious spirit in the police officers that get off on dehumanizing Black bodies. In a brief filed by Marcus's family's legal team, it was disclosed that Greensboro Police Department hogtied at least 50 people in the months leading up to Marcus's death, mostly Black and many of them women. An elderly woman with dementia, a pregnant Black woman. What warrants this kind of restraint on anyone? And the system and the city council has allowed police brutality to persist and thrive here in Greensboro. But if you truly listen to the community that you claim to serve, that is where you will find your answers. You will find that mental health or drug-related crises should be redirected to trained medical professionals or community members with lived experience. You will find that communities respond better and crime is decreased when needs are being met and residents are nurtured, all residents. You have a lot of work to do if you want to make the diversity and inclusion tab of your website actually mean something. But let's start with holding the officers that killed Marcus Smith accountable and ensuring that this never happens again. Thank you.
Thank you.